That one. That's a good one there.
Topwater fishing has to be one of the most popular ways that people love to fish. Now, topwater fishing can be pretty frustrating for a lot of people because you're gonna have a lot of massive blow-ups and you're gonna get some swings and misses. And frog fishing is without a doubt one of those ways to get a lot of big, huge blow-ups and set the hook and the bait just comes flying back by your head with nothing there. But I also would argue that seeing the blow up is as good sometimes as getting the hook set in them. Number one, you can lie to your buddies on how big the fish is. Number two, it's just being able to visually see that explosion.
Got him. Good one too.
We're gonna talk a lot about frog fishing, understanding the when to throw a frog and why to throw a frog, how to throw a frog, which frog to throw, and some of the gear and line involved in frog fishing so that you can help hopefully make some better decisions next time you have a chance to tie on a frog for a particular bass fishing trip. You know, frog fishing without a doubt is one of the most popular ways to target shallow water fish in the slop, in and around the brush, in and around heavy cover, specifically when frogs are up in that kind of cover and actively feeding. I'm a believer that there's always some fish shallow all times of the year, and I'm also a believer that you can throw a frog a lot of different times of the year and find success.
I like the visual as aspect of it. I love the difficultness of making those perfect presentations, you know, skipping up underneath a 10-foot dock and hitting the seawall on the backside. You know, I mean, being really precise with my presentations and throwing a bait that doesn't get hung up and not being afraid. So many times we're afraid of making a cast and of hanging up somewhere. The Bronzeye Frog is designed not to get hung up. So no matter where you throw it, you can pretty much work it out of that tree, you know, or rocks or sand or whatever, grass or what it might be. So I love that, the actual accuracy of the bait, and for me it's a challenge to try and get it in areas where nobody else has ever casted before.
We're playing a dangerous game right here. We're over 14 cattails, but we'll make that cast all day long. We're throwing 60-pound sunline braid in there. One bites it, we're gonna turn his head. There he goes.
Got him.
Yeah, buddy. He's not very big, but that was fun. That's almost a called shot right there. Oh, son, you're not big, but you made us look like we're heroes right there.
It's time now for our first break. Coming up next on the Bass Pro Shop's Fisherman's Handbook, we take a look at the SPRO Bronzeye Frog 65, the bait that started it all. But before we go to the break, SPRO Pro Drew Cook introduces us to one of the newest additions to the Bronzeye lineup, the Bronzeye Blade.
Hey guys, SPRO Pro Drew Cook here. I want to talk to you about the Bronzeye Blade. It's a new frog from SPRO. It's the same 65 size as the regular Dean Rojas Bronzeye Frog, but they've put these blades. These are 1.5 Colorado blades, and you swim this thing, just reel it in, and as you reel it in, these blades are ticking each other, so it's making like a clanking sound, and it's like swimming legs. It's got a good vibe through it. It moves a lot of water, so it's calling some fish in from a pretty good little ways away to get some really explosive topwater blow-ups. Not only is this thing great for just reeling, but you can fish it through a lot of different types of grass. Any grass that's not super stringy is great to fish through. It doesn't matter if it's topped out or not, because while you're working it over top of that mat, you still got these blades just clacking, and it's almost like putting a rattle inside your bait. So you don't even have to do that anymore. It has more drawing power and different sound, you know, something a little different, and it's weighted a little bit more in the back, so it'll get down in that mat a little bit further. Make sure you check them out and have them in your tackle box.
miles of water in front of you and hundreds of feet below, you need a boat with the chops to dominate, no matter the conditions. With the strength and technology to overcome the elements and the competition. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time.
You have a full-time job and you want to be a full-time angler. Don't waste time scouting. You want to catch fish. That's where Garmin comes in. Our mapping with Navionics data lets you see more detail than the fish do. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, and our industry-leading live sonar is so crisp and clear you'll think you jumped in. You're welcome. Now if only we had a powerful, efficient, whisper-quiet trolling motor. Actually, we do. It's called Force. We knew you'd like that. Less time finding, more time catching fish. Only with Garmin.
So when we started in 2005, when we designed the original Bronzeye, we also designed the Poppin' Frog as well. So those were the two baits that we initially designed, but the Bronzeye sold so well that we put this one on the shelf. Okay, just sat it there because for the next 2 years, this was the king. This was the best seller. We had it, and then the fans started using it, our customers started using it, and the explosions of the strikes just captivated all those fishermen. And you know, topwater is exciting as it is, but this is a whole new realm. It doesn't matter if you're throwing in grass, open water, you know, or skipping things underneath trees. You know, it's a whole different aspect of fishing that you're not used to doing, and you get to do it with a frog.
One of the most popular frogs is the SPRO Bronzeye Frog 65. This particular model of frog, it's got a pointed front on him, as you can see right here. It's gonna be, set up in a situation, and it's hollow, as you can see, and you'll see people squeezing water out of them. It's generally got twin tails like this SPRO frog does here, and you're gonna be able to throw this into a tremendous amount of slop. And by slop, I mean lily pads. You can skip it up under cover. I mean, guys like Dean Rojas, who designed this particular frog, they've made a living, literally, on fishing this style of frog. Got him. That is a picture-perfect spot to catch a pond bass. Back into the little cove, you can kind of see the pond weed sitting there. Took me 3 casts, but you can almost call your shot to catch one right there. Great deadly combination. 12 to 14-inch bass in a pond, little SPRO frog with all the vegetation.
It's tried and true. It's now 17 years old. It's still the #1 selling frog in the world. It's the best design. I mean, it is. It's the best walking, it's the best casting, it's the best hookup ratio frog on the market.
This is a frog that there's been a lot written about, this style of frog, because there's so many things that you can do with it. I mean, there's times when I've gave them a haircut and trimmed the legs down a little bit, and there's times when I haven't touched them at all. For me, I love this kind of frog in and around lily pads, in and around the most heavy duty cover that I possibly can find. I mean, I've caught some absolute monsters on this style of frog, and this is probably one of my more favorite colors here. I like to throw these in the yellows and the dark blacks and the greens, kind of mimicking bluegill. I think these are very, very good frogs for when the bass are feeding on bluegill or they are in the slop. That big heavy-duty slop.
This is the one that I look for whenever I'm on some thicker cover, like heavy mats, cheese mats, whatever it is, anywhere where like the Poppin' Frog kind of drags a little bit too much, like it gets a little bit too much stuff on the nose of it. I'm gonna want to throw the more pointed nose style frog. This frog also has a big profile, but really a subtle action. So if you're chugging this frog along or walking this frog, it doesn't create a ton of disturbance in the water, but whenever those fish get curious and come look at it, it's still a really big profile. So those fish that are kind of not as aggressive, not chasing from quite as far, this is a really good frog that they bite even in open water or in a thick mat. So a little bit more subtle, but a little bit bigger profile. This is the frog for all the heaviest cover.
Get it, baby. That's 5. SPRO frog in the spring. That's fun. Wanna kiss it? Wanna kiss it, Jeff? I'll kiss it, please.
After this quick break, we'll take a look at fishing line and what exactly you need to be looking for when selecting a braided line for frog fishing. And as we go to break, professional angler Michael Neal introduces us to 5 color options available in the Bronzeye series of frogs.
The Bronzeye 65 and the Bronzeye Pop 60 have been 2 staples in the frog industry for many, many years. There's a ton of different color options, but as you know, matching the hatch is very, very crucial when getting good frog bites and getting them to really eat it. A lot of times they'll come up and just smack at it, but if you've got the right color, they'll actually eat it. We've come up with 5 new colors this year from SPRO, and they're available both in the Pop 60 and the Bronzeye 65. This one right here is Glacier. It's just a good white with a blue little tint to it. It's just something different, give the fish a little bit different look than what they're used to. Kryptonite is a good green and black mix. This is a very nice looking color. Lava, that's exactly what it looks like, lava. It's red, yellow, black, just a good mixture of darker colors, but something a little bit lighter that they can come target on. Orange juice, this one's just really different. I mean, it's a mix of a pinkish red and yellow. It's something you can definitely see out on the water. My favorite out of the new colors is herring pink. And the reason it's my favorite is because it's got a mostly clear body. And a lot of times I think these fish that you're targeting are chasing small bait fish. So something clear, like you throw a clear topwater bait a lot, that these fish can't really see, they just see the profile. Make sure and check out these new 5 colors of the Bronzeye Pop 60 and the Bronzeye 65 from SPRO.
Reliability. Yamaha is known for it. And it's something boaters value, because these days, few things are built to last. When we find something that is, we hold on to friendships, traditions, outboards, because every second on the water is sacred. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters choose Yamaha for the long run, for life, because reliability starts here.
We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species. Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line.
If you're not using braid, there's some applications out there that you're really hurting yourself. One of them's frogging.
Choosing the rest of the things you have to dial into when it comes to a frog is, obviously line. There's no reason to ever tie a frog that I could think of to monofilament or fluorocarbon. I mean, you need instantaneous, no stretch type hookups. Now, I will change line sizes. 30, it would be the absolute lightest I would go. I typically throw 40 to 50 most of the time, up to 80 if I'm trying to throw, something like, a gliding frog deep over hydrilla, lily pads and cover like that. I really like this line right here from its ability to shed water. A lot of braided lines in the past, basically what happens as you throw it more and more and it's exposed more and more to the water, the line kind of expands. It feels heavy in a lot of situations. This particular line here, it doesn't have that. It basically sheds the water while it's in the water. And what you're looking at is a harder, to me it's even a little harder. So when it's going through the guides, it gives it a little more castability.
X-Plasma is a redefined way of using braid, I think is more or less. Our colors are unique, in our style of braid. It's smoother. It lays really nice, it's super strong, and it has all the attributes that the other 2 braids that are in the family do not carry in that way. So it's price point, it's something that you can afford, it's not over the top, and it's something that you can have on your fishing line all year long and never have to change the line.
He's got me in the grass. I think he's free. I don't think he's that big. He just got ahead of me in the grass. Come here, buddy. Man, that's fun. That is fun. How can you not like that? How can you not like that?
Like, I could not imagine throwing a frog without braid. I use a couple of different ones, SX1 and also the FX2 frogging and flipping. One of the main things is you have to have braided line. I like to throw 50. Some guys use 60, some guys use 40. To me, 50, SX1 is kind of the happy medium. It's got really good castability. It's plenty strong to catch a 8, 9, 10 pounder.
I've said it before, there's no need to throw fluorocarbon, there's no need to throw mono, you need to throw braided line. 30 to 80 pound, 30 is gonna be the lightest I'll go. That's gonna be if I'm reeling a frog along that has kicking legs at the end, maybe up to 40 there. Hollow bodies and poppers, I'm gonna get in that 50 to 60, sometimes even go up to 80 in some of the heavier cover. Pay attention to the quality of the line, what you're looking at. I mean, this is gonna be my most recommended line. You can see I've knocked a hole in there. I've already used so much line off of it. It's gonna give you the ability, I believe, to cast it a little farther. Has zero stretch. It's very hydrophobic, as they call it, which is a new word for me, but it basically means it sheds water. Some of the older braided lines don't have that. They get a little heavy. They kind of expand due to that, which is going to impact your ability while you're out fishing to be able to make longer, more accurate casts. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's a gorilla. And I mean, he choked it. Look at that bass right there.
Attention anglers, are you looking for soft tubes or craws? How about big jigs, little jigs, and shaky heads of all sorts and sizes? Do you want some sweet swim jigs that you can take all across the country? When's the last time you stocked up on frogs, wacky rigs, or big old lead shakers? Maybe you just need a few swim bait heads, finesse jigs, and some good old stupid tube jig heads. You'll find all that and more fishing gear when you go online and shop the entire selection of Secret Lures now.
Things you let me see.
That one, that's a good one there. Golly. Stay on there, baby. Ah, yeah. Let's drop that. Well, we've had 3 little bites that have totally whipped it, and then this guy here just choked on that flapping frog right there. That's fun when they eat it like that. That's what you're trying to do. That's fun right there.
Looking at how a bass sets up, I mean, you know, a bass is a predator, and it's a top-end predator a lot of times in the bodies of water that it lives in. It sets up to ambush its prey. By ambush that prey, it's setting in a specific piece of cover a lot of times, waiting for something to come by that triggers a reaction, triggers that bass to charge out and eat. And a bass, I mean, I honestly don't believe he sits around and thinks that much about why he chose to attack and didn't choose to attack, but there's something about the reaction, there's something about whatever's happening in his environment that causes him to react to a bait. or react to a bluegill, react to a shad, whatever it may be. But when you're targeting shallow cover, a lot of times you have a little bit of an advantage over him because you can see the cover, you can see the places that he may set up. And if you can choose the right bait, the right rhythm, the right cast, and put all that together, you've got a chance to draw that fish out to have a reactionary strike. Now, then comes the next part. Did you miss him? Can you catch him? How does all that go down?
Oh! God. Oh, dear God, he chewed on it.
Understanding why you miss fish on a frog is just as important as understanding why you caught them. If you can bat 500, if you get 10 blowups and catch 5, you had a great day of frog. You had some catching on that day of frog fishing, because invariably the fish is going to miss the bait. You're going to jerk too soon. You weren't in contact with everything. There even could be vegetation hung up on the bait. I mean, our reaction time has been proven to be considerably slower to theirs. So if he takes the bait, gets turned around, gets spun out, or you've got dull hooks or whatever it may be, you're gonna miss some, you're gonna lose some. But if you can be patient and you see that bait, you see it go down, you know he's turning that bait around in his mouth, and you've got a good frog and you set the hook and you're reeling, you're getting him turned as fast as you can, you're cranking and keeping that pressure up, you've got a better chance than not once you get the hook into him to get him in.
It's a big old bluegill. No, it's a little bass. I thought that was a big old bluegill when it first came out of the water. Key, patience on the hook set. Look the other way, close your eyes. I don't know, you're just gonna miss them. You know, we've had 4 bites this morning. We've caught 2 about that size. Gentry thought that last one was about 3 pounds over there. I couldn't, see it. It took off with it and we caught that one, so. That's not uncommon. You're gonna miss some, you're gonna swing and miss, but the thing about it is you get an incredible blow up. And to me, that's still one of the funnest things. I mean, all top water, whether it's a hard bait or a soft bait. Missed that one.
That will conclude this episode of the Bass Pro Shops Fisherman's Handbook. On the next show, we'll bring you part 2 of this series dedicated to all things frog fishing. From product highlights on the flappin' frog and poppin' frog to epic blow-ups and fish catches in heavy cover. We'll bring you that and much more next time on the Bass Pro Shops Fisherman's Handbook. Thanks for watching. This has been a Carico TV production. This episode was made possible by these partners.
Born in Japan, using technology, innovation, and precision, Sunline produces the widest selection of fishing lines at the most technologically advanced line factory in the world. Manufactured at the strictest tolerances to produce victories at the highest levels of tournament bass fishing. From household names like Christie, Swindle, and Cruz, to young guns like Cook, Logan, New, and Welcher, they all trust Sunline to take them to the top of the leaderboard. Choose the line that will give you the strength to guarantee your confidence. Sunline.
From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, we work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
TH Marine has been producing top-of-the-line marine accessories to rig boats from transom to trolling motor for decades. From jack plates to fish care to LEDs, TH Marine has you covered. TH Marine, outfitting your boat from transom to trolling motor.